Silence is a decision with teeth. That's our hard truth today, my friends. Not the loud clapback, not the long message at 2 a.m., the quiet choice that bites through confusion and breaks the chain. Here's the hook. When you stop reacting, their confidence starts trembling. Like a stage light flicking off, the swagger disappears and the fear creeps in from the edges. Hey folks, imagine this. You're a lighthouse on a rocky coast. For months, you blasted your beam for someone who kept sailing into storms on purpose. You warned, you flashed, you begged the ocean to behave. But one night, you switched the lamp to steady. No more wild spinning, no more emergency flares. Suddenly, they have to steer without your light show. That quiet, that's not coldness, that's clarity. Or try this one. You're a vending machine that kept spitting out kindness for free. Shake the box, kick the door, still gives. Then one day, the out-of-service sign appears. Not broken, being serviced. Your energy goes back to the workshop where it belongs. We've been sold a lie, my friends. If you just explain yourself better, they'll finally get it. No. If someone can hear your silence and still not respect you, they were never listening in the first place. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you always have the option of having no opinion. That isn't being petty, it's being powerful. Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Translation, the moment you want less from their approval, you own more of your life. And yes, a little fun here. Think of your attention like Wi-Fi. Not everyone gets the password. Guests mode only, time limited. No Netflix binges on your bandwidth. Let's break more lies. Lie. Silence means defeat. Truth. Silence is a boundary that builds in full. Lie. If I don't respond, I'll look weak. Truth. The only weakness is abandoning your peace to win a debate that doesn't upgrade your life. Lie. They'll forget me. Truth. People forget noise all the time. They don't forget the first day the music stopped. My friends, your quiet isn't empty. It's concentrated. It tells the world, I allocate my energy like money. It tells your nervous system, we are safe now. It tells that old version of you, thank you for trying, rest. And it tells the person who kept testing you, the lab is closed. When you stop chasing, you start choosing. When you stop explaining, you start expanding. And when you stop handing out free access, your presence becomes premium again. Picture the gym at 6 a.m. It's not loud, but power is everywhere. That's your new life. Fewer arguments, more reps, fewer paragraphs, more progress, fewer scenes, more standards. And when the questions come, why aren't you answering? Who are you with? Did you move on? You don't need to perform. Your silence is a mirror. Let them study. Here's your reminder, folks. Compassion for others does not require self-abandonment. You can be kind and still say nothing. You can be warm and still walk away. You can forgive and still close the door. The best part? The moment you trust your quiet, your focus sharpens. Food tastes better. Sleep runs deeper. Work gets simpler. You come home to yourself, and that is a reunion worth protecting. If this opens your eyes, press like, subscribe, and share this with a brother who needs the nudge. In the comments, write a 3-word promise to yourself. I guard peace. Stay with me. We're about to break the old patterns and build the strongest version of you. Number 1. When silence replaces reaction. Your restraint is louder than their provocation. That's the line we start with tonight, my friends, because the moment you stop reacting, the entire script flips. They don't hear your voice anymore. They hear their own doubts. They don't feel your warmth. They feel the cold edge of accountability. Silence isn't empty. It's a verdict with a stamp on it. Case closed, energy reclaimed, access revoked. Picture this. You're a chess clock. For months, they slammed your button and watched your time drain while theirs stayed safe. Every accusation, every test, every late-night nudge, click, your seconds vanished. Then one day, you let their move land and you don't touch the clock. You fold your hands. The room gets quiet in a way they can't manage. The game keeps staring back at them, asking, "Your turn." And for the first time, they realize your reaction was the oxygen their confidence breathed. Now step into another scene. Think of your phone as a bank vault, not a cookie jar, a vault. Every reply was you handing out free tokens to the amusement park of their ego. They'd ride the roller coaster and come back to the booth for more. One morning, the metal door seals. Not because you're cruel, because you've done the audit. The numbers don't lie. The vault closes when the investment bleeds. They press their face to the glass and try to smile like it's cute. The keypad doesn't care. Codes changed. New policy, no withdrawal without deposit. And here's what starts inside their head, because silence turns up the volume on their questions. Why aren't you answering? Did I misread how much control I had? Is someone else getting the energy I wasted? Was their calm always this strong, or did I never notice? What if this time it's not temporary? What if this is who they are now? Fear doesn't arrive in a scream. It creeps in wearing question marks. Let's break a few lies right here, together. Lie number 1, silence is passive. No, silence is precision. You are choosing where your life force goes. Lie number 2, if you don't defend yourself, you'll look guilty. No, only people who need your outrage to feel right will read your quiet as guilt. People with self-respect read silence as standards. Lie number 3, if you stop talking, they win. No, you refusing to fund a broken loop is the win. The loop dies without your energy. You just unplugged the machine. But why is it so hard? Because your nervous system learned to sprint on their whistle. You trained yourself to be a first responder in a relationship that only dialed you for drama. There's a hit of dopamine in reacting. Your brain confuses doing something with solving something. And culture fed you a myth. Real love means constant access. My friends, constant access breeds contempt, not respect. Real love includes a locked door and a key that must be earned. Another reason it's hard, your story. Maybe you grew up believing peace is bought with explanations. Maybe you learned that your worth comes from fixing. So when you go quiet, the old version of you panics. What if they think I don't care? What if they forget me? What if I'm the bad guy? Hear this with your whole heart. You can care deeply and still stop participating in harm. You can be kind and still be done. As Epictetus would put it, your judgments and choices are yours, not on lease, not up for auction. Let's add a lighter metaphor because truth can be heavy. Your attention is a TV remote. For too long, they pressed mute, unmute, volume up, volume down on your mood. Then the batteries went out. Suddenly, the show doesn't jump on command. They bang the remote. Nothing. They shake it. Nothing. They shout at the screen. Nothing. It's not anger, it's physics. Without power, the remote is just plastic. Without reaction, their buttons are just habits. What about the fear on your side? It's real. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of being forgotten. Fear that your silence will be twisted into a story where you're the villain. That's why you anchor in principles instead of public opinion. Marcus Aurelius said, "You always have the option of having no opinion." Choose that option when the audience has never once paid the ticket price of honesty. Your life is not a courtroom where the loudest lawyer wins. Your life is a dojo where the quietest discipline grows. They will try to bait you. Expect the classic moves, a soft "hey" to see if the door still opens, a vague accusation to force you into a defense you don't owe, a memory tossed like a coin into your well to see if wishes still come true there. And the hardest one, the plea for closure, that really means one more sip of your attention. You don't shame them. You don't grandstand. You demonstrate a new rule set with calm, brief, necessary words, or with none at all. Boundary, not broadcast. But what if they truly change? Then change will show up in their actions consistently over time without dragging you out of your peace. Your silence doesn't block growth. It filters theatrics. If real responsibility is taken, it will be visible without you sacrificing your stability to referee it. Now let's talk about the inner upgrade your silence builds. At first, the quiet feels like a cliff. You hear echoes, reach out, explain, fix, soothe, breathe. This is where Stoic practice becomes muscle, not motto. You replace the old loop with a new ritual. When the urge to type rises, you train instead. When the itch to explain burns, you journal it out and keep your phone face down. When the pull to check their page hits, you check your plan, nutrition, sleep, work, faith, family. You redirect the electricity into circuits that light your life, not their drama. Here's the elegant part. The more you keep your peace, the more their certainty matters. Confidence without consequences was a costume. Your silence makes them try it without a mask. No applause, no counterpunch, no emotional subsidy. That's when the performance ends and the character shows up, on both sides. If they have depth, they'll sit with themselves. If they had only power games, they'll search for another stage. Either way, you win, because you're building something that doesn't need their permission. Self-command. A quote to carry in your pocket: "He who is brave is free." Seneca didn't say, "He who is loud," or "He who wins every argument." Brave enough to be quiet when you could be clever. Brave enough to leave when you could be right. Brave enough to be misunderstood on purpose because your peace is not a public project. So what happens to their confidence? Without your reaction to stabilize it, it melts into questions. Without your attention to inflate it, it collapses into mirrors. Without your presence to validate it, it meets the truth. Confidence that depends on controlling someone else is counterfeit. Your silence uncovers the watermark. We're not done. This first step, replacing reaction with silence, is the hinge the whole door swings on. Next, we'll open the psychology behind why your absence feels heavier to them than 1,000 speeches, and why the mind fears losing what it once took for granted. Stay close to that. For now, stand up in your room, shoulders back, and tell your nervous system a new story. You are not a fire alarm for other people's chaos. You are a thermostat for your own climate. Quiet is not cold, it's calibrated, and it is building a life where respect is not begged, it's built. Type your promise in the comments so your future self sees it later. I choose silence. Show them, show yourself, show the world around you that your calm has teeth. Number 2, loss aversion. Why your absence hurts more than words. People don't fear your anger, they fear your absence. That's the blade-edge truth, my friends. The mind can shrug at an argument and scroll past a paragraph, but it can't escape a closed door. When you stop reacting, you trigger a law in human nature. We feel losses twice as hard as gains. That's loss aversion, and it's the reason their confidence starts to wobble when your silence shows up. Picture this like a fridge that always stays full. They open the door any hour, attention, reassurance, warmth, always there. Then one day, the light clicks on and the shelves are empty. No milk, no snacks, no midnight comfort. The label on the shelf reads, "Restocking for someone who respects it." The hunger they feel is not about food. It's the shock of discovering the store wasn't infinite. It was you, and you changed the policy. Or imagine your presence as a steady drumbeat in a marching band. They strutted with bold shoulders because your rhythm kept them in step. The drum goes quiet. Confidence stumbles. They overthink their next move. Did I ever have rhythm, or were they carrying me? That silence is not punishing. It's measuring. It exposes how much of their swagger was borrowed from your consistency. Now listen to the questions that creep in when you remove access. Why does it feel colder without you? Why do the jokes not land the same? Who is getting the focus they wasted? Was their calm always this strong, or did I just ignore it? What if this isn't a break? What if this is the new normal? Loss aversion turns these questions into a loop. The mind replays what it had, compares it to what it has now, and writes the ending in darker ink. Let's break the lies they tell themselves, and maybe you told yourself too. Lie. If they really cared, they'd fight loud. Truth. Caring is not volume, caring is value. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for both sides is turn off the faucet that feeds disrespect. Lie. Silence is manipulation. Truth. Silence is a boundary. Manipulation needs an outcome from them. Your quiet needs nothing. Lie. They'll forget you if you stop talking. Truth. People forget noise. They do not forget the day access ended. Why is this so difficult on your side? Because your nervous system was trained to chase. Every time they pulled away, you sprinted. Every time they poked, you explained. That cycle gave you little hits of relief. I responded, so I did something. But activity is not progress, and relief is not respected. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You always have the option of having no opinion." Today, that means no instant reply, no impulsive defense, no feeding a fire that burns your own house. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." When you want less of their approval, you own more of your peace. Loss aversion used to be your enemy. You feared losing them. Now it's their teacher. They fear losing you. Let's add a small smile to a heavy lesson. Think of your attention like premium data on a phone plan. For months, they streamed in 4K with your login. Then one day the app says, "This device is no longer authorized." They don't call the company, they call you, because deep down they knew the account holder the whole time. Your silence is not a glitch, it's a change of password. Here's the deeper psychology. The mind clings to what felt guaranteed because guaranteed things require no gratitude. Your replies, your patience, your presence. When they were always there, the brain discounted them. Economists call it diminishing returns. Psychologists call it habituation. The first time your kindness arrived, it was gold. The 100th time, it was wallpaper. Silence rips the wallpaper off the wall. They finally see the bricks that held the house together and the drafts that come when the bricks are gone. But why do they think like this? Because certainty is a self-soothing blanket. If they could predict your reaction, they could postpone real reflection. If they knew you'd argue back, they could keep the story about you. When you stop reacting, the story moves home. No audience, no co-star, just them and the mirror is undefeated. Let's talk about your fear. You will be tempted to send one last paragraph, one last, just to clarify, one last, "I'm not the bad guy." Resist. That last paragraph is a sugar hit, sweet for a second, crash for a day. Your new strength is measured in the distance between impulse and action. Breathe there, lift there, pray there, train there. That is your new gym. A quote for your pocket. He who is brave is free. Seneca never said bravery is loud or constant. Brave is saying, I will not go back to discounts, full price or no sale. Loss aversion turns their attention into pursuit when access disappears. Good, not to punish them but to purify the connection. If they show up different, consistent, responsible, respectful, your peace won't be threatened by it. If they don't, your peace won't be dependent on it. Here's the elegant part. The moment your silence becomes normal to you, it becomes heavy to them. Not because you're cruel, but because you've stopped donating certainty to someone who spent it carelessly. You can smile, be polite, and still keep the door closed. Kindness without access unsettles entitlement. Respect without performance confuses manipulation. That confusion is the dark fear they feel. They no longer control the weather in your soul. We're moving forward from here. Next, we'll break down how scarcity of access turns your presence from background noise into a signal, and why clean boundaries create clarity, not games. For now, write this in your heart and in the comments so you can see your promise in print. I keep my peace. Show them, show yourself. Show the world around you that you're done paying for confidence you didn't break. Stay with me. The next layer will make your standards unshakable. Number 3, scarcity of access. When your presence stops being on demand. Abundance breeds amnesia. Scarcity restores memory. That's the pressure point, my friends. When your attention is everywhere, it becomes background noise. When you pull it back, it becomes a signal they can't ignore. Scarcity of access is not a trick. It's the natural outcome of self-respect. You didn't slam a door to be dramatic. You finally measured the cost of leaving it wide open. Picture a familiar street where the traffic light is always green. Drivers stop checking the road. They assume flow. Then one morning, the light turns yellow, then red. Brakes screech, hands tighten on the wheel, eyes focus. That's what your boundary does. It forces attention back into the moment. Or think of a cafe that used to refill everyone's cup for free. People spilled it, wasted it, and took it to go. Then the sign changes, refills by membership only. Suddenly, every sip is noticed. Your energy is that premium refill, limited, earned, tracked. Here's what starts running laps in their mind when access is no longer guaranteed. Why can't I reach them like before? Did I mistake their kindness for endless supply? Who qualified for the membership I lost? Was their patience a gift I misread as weakness? What if the gate stays closed because I never learned how to knock? These aren't just questions, they're alarms. Scarcity exposes the value of what they mismanaged. Let's break the lies that keep people stuck. Lie: if you reduce access, you're playing games. Truth: games need hidden rules. Boundaries have posted hours. You're not moving the goalposts, you're announcing them. Lie: if you love someone, you should always be available. Truth: real love respects limits because limits protect what's sacred. Lie: scarcity is manipulation. Truth: scarcity is math. You have 24 hours, one nervous system, and one life. If it doesn't honor your peace, it doesn't earn your presence. Why is this hard for you? Because you were trained to be on for their texts, on for their moods, on for their emergencies, real or staged. You equated availability with loyalty, but loyalty without stewardship becomes self-abandonment. The first few days you enforce scarcity, you'll feel itchy. Am I being cold? Am I overdoing it? Am I being punished? Breathe. You're not taking oxygen away, you're stopping the leak. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you always have the option of having no opinion. Today that means I don't owe instant access to prove steady care. Epictetus adds, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. When you want less from their validation, you stop wholesaling your time to buy it. A lighter picture to carry. Your focus is a museum. For too long, everyone roamed the halls with sticky fingers and loud voices. Now there's a velvet rope, guided hours, a calm curator, that's you, and a quiet that turns noise into awe. People treat art differently when a room tells them it matters. People treat you differently when your life does the same. Why do they think like this, expecting endless access? Certainty is comfortable. If they could ping your attention at will, they never had to build their own emotional muscles. Your constant availability acted like training wheels. They never learned balance. Scarcity removes the wheels. They wobble, they blame the bike, they complain about the road. But the truth is simple. The muscles were always theirs to build. Your boundary just reveals the gap. Expect the reactions. Some will try casual reach-outs, a meme, a memory, a you up at midnight. Others will escalate with pressure. You've changed, so you never cared. I just need 5 minutes. The answer isn't a speech, it's structure. Short replies when a reply is necessary, silence when it isn't. Clear availability windows, no double text acrobatics. Calm tone, no edge, no snark, no hidden barbs. You are running a calendar now, not a crisis center. What about fairness? Scarcity is fair when it's consistent. If your best friend invests, they get more access. If someone only visits when bored, they get lobby hours. This isn't hierarchy, it's health. Your presence is a precious metal. You stopped selling it at thrift store prices. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." Brave enough to price yourself at truth. Free enough to walk when someone wants platinum for pennies. Let's address the fear beneath the boundary. Won't scarcity push them away? If access was the only glue, what you had was dependency, not devotion. Scarcity doesn't kill real bonds, it reveals them. People who value you adjust. People who used you exit. Either way, you gain clarity, and clarity is peace with teeth. Here's a metaphor with a grin. Your attention used to be a buffet. People piled it high and left half the plate. Now it's a chef's table with 8 seats, reservation required, fewer plates. Better food, real conversation. You don't need 50 somebodies. You need a circle that knows what it costs you to cook and brings something to the table besides appetite. The transformation in you is quiet but seismic. You schedule deep work and honor it. You lift when the urge to text hits. You read when the itch to check appears. You take a walk when the old reflex to perform pops up. You become a steward of the 3 things that always belong to you. Your time, your attention, your access. And like all stewards, you grow what you guard. A pocket quote as you practice, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." You're not flipping scarcity to punish, you're practicing scarcity to protect. You don't mirror their chaos, you model your standard. Over time, something beautiful happens. Your baseline rises. You don't even think about holding back. Your life is simply full of things that make you whole. That fullness is the real scarcity. Nobody can counterfeit it, and nobody can demand it on command. What comes next? The mirror effect. Once access is scarce, projection loses oxygen, and they finally face themselves without your reactions to hide behind. It's where comparison, conscience, and genuine accountability begin. For now, anchor this in your body, shoulders back, jaw loose, breath steady. You are not a vending machine, you are a vault with selective keys. Write your promise in the comments so your future self can see it later. Access is earned. Show them, show yourself, show the world around you that your presence is premium because your peace is priceless. Stay with me. We're about to hold up the mirror. Number 4. The mirror effect. Your absence forces their self-audit. Silence turns their spotlight inward. That's the sharp edge, my friends. When you stop reacting, the stage doesn't go dark. It flips. The lights that once blinded you now illuminate them. No more audience to clap for excuses. No more co-star to catch the blame. Just them, their choices, and a mirror that doesn't care about spin. Picture a dressing room after the show. Glitter on the floor, costume on the chair, applause fading in the hallway. They look up expecting your reflection beside theirs, ready to soothe, explain, adjust the script. But the second face is gone. The mirror gives a plain, fluorescent truth. This is who I was when no one was managing me. That's what your absence does. It removes the editor, raw footage only. Or imagine a car that always had lane assist. It beeped, nudged, gently guided them back whenever they drifted. Then, mid-drive, the feature turns off. No warning, no scolding, just silence. They feel the wobble that the machine used to correct. Your presence was the nudge. Your silence exposes the drift. Now the questions they avoided start to knock. Did I treat consistency like it was disposable? Did I mistake patience for weakness? Did I confuse attention with obligation? Was I building anything or just feeding off the structure they carried? Let's break lies before the mirror does it for us. Lie. If they cared, they'd keep debating me. Truth. Debate keeps the story external. Care puts the story where it belongs, inside. Lie. If they were real, they wouldn't leave me alone with my thoughts. Truth. Real respect trusts you to face yourself. Lie. Their silence is punishment. Truth. Punishment needs pain. A mirror needs light. Your absence isn't harm, it's clarity. Why is this mirror so brutal for them? Because projection is easier than responsibility. As long as you argued back, they could recycle the same plot. You're too sensitive. You misunderstood. You overreacted. When you stop providing reactions, they run out of narrative oxygen. The script collapses into a single frame. I chose. And this is where it led. That's not cruelty, that's consequence. Epictetus would say it this way: control what's yours, your judgments, your actions, release what's not. Your silence says, I'm done carrying what never belonged to me. Why is the mirror tough for you too? Because the first quiet days trigger your own old reflexes. Explain, fix, soften the edges so nobody hurts. But a life built on managing everyone else's reflection will always blur your own. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you always have the option of having no opinion. In mirror language, you're not required to caption their image. Let the picture teach. Dark psychology adds a mechanism here. Rumination grows in the absence of distraction. No texts to twist, no calls to perform, no arguments to rehearse. Just cognitive replay. The brain wants a clean ending. The mirror offers none. So the mind hunts for causes, and without your reactions to absorb impact, the spotlight lands on the only stable target left, their behavior. That's the fear they feel at 2 a.m., not your anger, but their accountability. Let's offer one more metaphor with a grin to keep courage light. Think of your presence as closed captions on a movie. You translated the plot, highlighted cues, turned chaos into subtitles. Then you switched captions off. The movie didn't get meaner, it just became honest. If they can't follow the story without you, the problem wasn't your captions, it was their attention. Expect the classic mirror dodges, nostalgia bait, remember when, guilt hooks, so you're too good for me now, faux closure, I just need your side for healing. None of these require a monologue. If a response is necessary, keep it brief, clean, boundary true. If not, silence is the better teacher. You're not a judge handing sentences, you're a museum guard protecting the exhibit. The art is your peace. Here's the heart question. What if they actually change? Real change isn't a speech, it's a pattern. Patterns don't need you to break silence to survive. They grow in the light of accountability and time. Your absence doesn't block transformation, it filters performance. If growth is genuine, it will reach you without dragging you out of your center. Why do they think the mirror is unfair? Because for a long time, comfort came packaged as certainty. You'd respond, you'd soothe, you'd interpret. Certainty lets people postpone maturity. The mirror doesn't. It says, your outcomes are your teachers. Seneca gives us the courage line, he who is brave is free. Brave enough to keep the mirror in place, free enough to let their story highlight itself without your ink. Now the part you can feel in your bones, what the mirror gives you back. Time without turbulence, focus without firefighting, space to hear your own thoughts in your own voice. You begin to notice simple things, how good water tastes after training, how quiet the morning is when your phone stays face down, how much more work you finish when your nervous system isn't sprinting at every buzz. Your silence didn't just reflect them, it restored you. Carry this pocket line. Absence is honest. It doesn't exaggerate, flatter, or argue. It simply holds the glass steady. Over days and weeks, people either lean in and learn or look away and leave. Both outcomes serve your future. If they learn, respect grows. If they leave, space opens. Either way, your standard stands. What's next on our path? After the mirror comes the collapse of control, the moment their old buttons stop working and doubt replaces certainty. That's where fear deepens and your freedom gets durable. We'll walk straight into that. For now, stand tall where you are. Let the room be quiet. Let the mirror do its job. You don't have to be cruel to be clear, and you don't have to be loud to be strong. Type your promise in the comments so your future self can find it later. I hold the mirror. Show them, show yourself, show the world around you that your calm is calibrated and your reflection is non-negotiable. Stay with me. The next turn is where control dissolves and your peace becomes unshakable. Number 5. The collapse of control. When they can't pull your strings. Power isn't loud, it's what doesn't move when pushed. That's the pressure point tonight, my friends. Control always felt like a set of buttons they could press. Withdraw, and you chase, accuse, and you defend, praise, and you melt. Then you did the unthinkable. You took the batteries out. The board lit up, the fingers tapped, but nothing responded. That silence wasn't petty, it was proof. Your system now runs on your terms. Picture a carnival with a rigged strength meter. They swing the hammer, ding, you react. Again, ding, you explain. Again, ding, you apologize for the weather. One morning the booth is there, but the bell is gone. Same hammer, same swing, no sound. Confusion turns into frustration, and frustration turns into fear. Not fear of you, fear of their lost control. Or try this. Your emotions used to be an elevator with public access. Anyone could jab a button and drag you to the basement or the penthouse. Then you turned the key switch to attendant only. The panel still lights up, but the car doesn't move unless you drive it. They stare through the doors, press harder, wave at the camera. Nothing. You didn't trap them, you freed yourself. Here are the questions their mind whispers when the buttons fail. Why doesn't this work anymore? Who are they if my script can't move them? Did I ever have influence, or was I borrowing compliance? If I can't pull them, do I even matter to them? That last one cuts deepest because counterfeit power feeds on reaction. Without it, the mask slips. Let's break the lies that keep the game alive. Lie. If you cared, you'd engage. Truth. Engagement without respect is performance, not connection. Lie. Not responding is childish. Truth. Self-regulation is adulthood. Compulsive reactivity is not. Lie. If you don't defend yourself, you must be guilty. Truth. Innocence doesn't audition. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you always have the option of having no opinion. You're done auditioning. Why is this stage so hard for you? Because your nervous system is used to buying peace with quick reactions. If I answer fast, maybe the storm passes. But that deal charged interest in sleepless nights and shrunk boundaries. The first time you don't pay, the storm performs. Thunder, lightning, old triggers dancing in the window. Breathe. Weather passes. Each calm, non-reaction rewires your brain. Stimulus, not equal command. Dark psychology gives us the mechanism, operant conditioning. Behaviors that pay, stay. When you stop rewarding provocation with attention, the behavior extinguishes or escalates briefly and then fades. That escalation is the extinction burst, the last fireworks of a fading pattern. Expect the burst. Sudden love bombing, guilt trips, pokes dressed as jokes, or bait like, guess you think you're better than me. None of these require a monologue. Short, neutral replies when required, silence when not. Boundary, not broadcast. Why do they think like this, equating control with connection? Because certainty felt like safety. If they could flip your mood, they didn't have to cultivate their own stability. Your reactions were a thermostat for their ego. Turn that off, and they meet a room temperature reality. If they want warmth, they must bring wood, effort, honesty, consistency. A quick metaphor to lighten the weight. You used to run a 24/7 drive-through for reassurance. Open windows, quick orders, extra validation, hold the accountability. Now it's table service, reservation only. Half the cars peel out. Good. You're not anti-hungry, you're pro-real meal. Seneca hands us the courage line. He who is brave is free. Brave enough to let a misunderstanding exist without sprinting after it. Brave enough to answer a loaded question with a boundary. I'm not available for this conversation, and mean it. Brave enough to leave a message on read not as a power play, but as a peace keep. Let's talk about the fear behind your boundary. If I don't react, won't I lose them? If reaction is the glue, you're not losing love. You're losing a lever. Healthy bonds don't require levers. They require choices. And choice, by definition, survives silence. What replaces control when the buttons stop working? Doubt, on their side. If I can't move them, who are they now? If I can't get a rise, am I irrelevant? That's the dark fear the title speaks to, and it isn't yours to manage. Your work is internal. Build routines that make reactivity inconvenient. Train when the urge to type spikes. Walk when the itch to check hits. Journal when the mind writes the old rescue script. Habits are the hinges that keep the door steady when the wind kicks up. A pocket principle. Calm does not equal consent. Your quiet doesn't approve of their behavior. It simply refuses to be choreographed by it. You can be clear and composed. I won't discuss accusations by text. If you have a specific request, put it plainly. I won't revisit resolved issues. Short, firm, humane. Over time, patterns hear what words cannot. There's no supply here. The gift on the other side is sovereignty. Your mornings stop starting with someone else's mood. Your workouts aren't cancelled by a ping. Your work sessions aren't fractured by debate. You spend attention like a budget, not a leak. And here's the elegant twist. The less you move when pushed, the more the right people move closer, because stability is attractive to the stable. What comes next? When control collapses, the mind hunts for certainty, and finds none. That's where the what-if spiral begins, the fear that feeds on itself in your silence. We'll open that loop and teach you how to let it run without you. For now, anchor this in your body, shoulders down, jaw unclenched, breath deep. You are not a marionette. You are the hand that holds the strings, and you can set them down. Type your promise in the comments so your future self sees it in ink. I own my calm. Show them, show yourself, show the world around you that your power isn't in the push, it's in what doesn't move. Stay with me. The next turn explains why unanswered questions become their loudest teacher. Number 6. The what-if spiral. When unanswered questions become their loudest teacher. Silence doesn't give closure, it gives a mirror with no captions. That's the sting, my friends. The human mind can argue with your words, but it can't argue with a blank page it's forced to fill. When you stop reacting, you don't just end a conversation, you open a loop. And loops without answers breed one thing: what-ifs, the kind of questions that turn confidence into dark fear. Picture a hallway of doors that used to be labeled, "He'll explain, he'll calm down, he'll come back." Your silence removes the labels. Now every door looks the same, and when they grab a handle, it doesn't open. They wander that hallway, hearing their own footsteps. What if I push them too far? What if someone else is getting the presence I dismissed? What if this time it isn't a phase, it's permanent? The brain hates unfinished puzzles, and your quiet leaves 3 key pieces missing: certainty, access, and control. So their mind does what minds do. It starts writing endings, and without your reassurance, those endings get darker. Try a gentler metaphor with a grin. Your texting thread was their weather app. Tap to see your climate. Tap to plan the day. Then the app stops updating. Now they're standing under a sky they can't predict, and that unpredictability exposes a truth. They never learned how to bring an umbrella. They expected you to hold one over them. The forecast becomes questions, and questions become anxiety's favorite snack. Let's break the lies that feed the spiral. Lie: if they cared, they'd give me answers. Truth: care isn't a vending machine. Press B7, get closure. Real care respects timing and boundaries. Sometimes the kindest, strongest answer is none, because anything you say will be used to reopen a loop you've already closed. Lie: if I don't get closure from them, I can't heal. Truth: closure is an inside job. External answers can clarify facts. They can't manufacture peace. Lie: silence means they're playing games. Truth: games need an audience, boundaries don't. Your quiet doesn't tease, it terminates a pattern. Why do they think like this? Because certainty was their safety net. As long as they could pull a reaction, they never had to face the cost of their own actions. Your silence removes the net and invites gravity. Consequences aren't cruelty, they're physics. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you always have the option of having no opinion. Applied here, you always have the option of giving no reaction. Epictetus adds, we are disturbed not by things, but by the views we take of them. Your quiet is neutral, their interpretation charges it with panic or growth. That's their work. Why is this stage hard for you? Because the urge to soothe is a powerful habit. You'll feel the itch to send one clarifying paragraph so they don't misunderstand. My friends, that paragraph is a candy bar for anxiety. Sweet for 60 seconds, crash for 6 days. You don't rescue them from the what-ifs, you respect them enough to let the questions teach. If they truly want answers, they'll start with accountability, not interrogation, and they'll accept that some answers come from looking inward, not outward. Dark psychology gives us the mechanism, ambiguity effect plus loss aversion. When outcomes are unclear, people avoid choices or cling to the familiar, even if the familiar is unhealthy. Your silence forces a choice: learn, improve, or loop. If they loop, they chase certainty with old tactics: love bomb, guilt, poke, bait. If they learn, they slow down, self-reflect, and change behavior without demanding your constant supervision. Either way, you remain steady. Boundary, not broadcast. Let's put this in a scene you can feel. It's 1:47 a.m. for them. The room is a quiet theater, and the projector plays memories: your consistency, your patience, your small kindnesses treated like air. The reel clicks and the screen goes dark. No closing credits, no "to be continued," just the soft hum of the machine. That hum becomes what if. What if I never meet someone who makes me that calm? What if I confused always available with weak? What if the door is closed because I never learned to knock with respect? These aren't accusations from you, they're lessons from the silence. Now, your side, the growth you claim by staying quiet. You replace explain with expand. When the urge to respond spikes, you train, you pray, you read, you build. You redirect that electricity into circuits that light your life. You're not withholding to hurt, you're conserving to heal. Seneca's courage line stands guard: he who is brave is free. Brave enough to be misunderstood for a while, so that you can be truly understood by a better future, for you and from them, if they ever earn the chance. A few pocket practices to keep you steady while the what-ifs swirl, on their side, not yours. Keep your phone face down during your sacred hours: sleep, training, deep work. Replace doom scroll with a 10-minute walk. Movement metabolizes emotion. When your brain writes a rescue script, write a boundary script instead. I'm not available for circular conversations. I wish you well. Here's the elegant pivot. The more you accept that not every question deserves an answer, the more they feel the weight of asking better questions. Not, "Why won't you reply?" but, "Why did I need your reaction to feel significant?" Not, "Who are you with?" but, "Who am I without your certainty?" That's the spiral turning into a staircase, if they climb it. If they don't, the loop repeats until they choose differently. Either way, your peace is no longer the prize they win or lose. It's the home you live in. So what comes after the what-ifs? Living proof. When they finally look up from the questions, your life won't be a debate. It will be a demonstration. Stronger routines, cleaner circle, quieter mind. You won't have to announce it. Contrast will do the talking. For now, stand where you are and breathe deep. You don't need to end their spiral. You only need to end your participation. Let your quiet be a teacher that doesn't chase students. If this resonated, if it opened something in you, press like, subscribe, and share this with a brother who needs the reminder. And write your promise in the comments so your future self can see it later. I trust silence. Show them, show yourself, show the world around you that your peace is not a puzzle to solve. It's a standard to keep. Stay with me. The transformation chapter begins now.